Welcome to another S&P 500 analysis. Today is September 22nd, 2021. This is the midweek edition. So now today was FOMC announcement day, and the announcement been made that the tapering will occur and there will be a few interest rate hikes starting near the end of 2022. And with those interest rate hikes, when we get to 2023, that will basically bring the current rate up to somewhere around this 1.8%. So all in all, historically, 1.8 is still relatively low. So now that the tapering question mark is out of the way, so it's the storm has passed for this market. Let's go check it out. Stay tuned. Let's take a look at the sentiment chart and also just the daily recap here on the S&P 500. You know, today is FOMC announcement day, and we certainly did see a little bit of a gyration in the price, but the announcement wasn't that much of a surprise. So there wasn't great gyration on the price. But in any case, the market closed up 41.45 points, almost 1%. It is 0.95%. As you can see on Monday, we saw the VIX pop up to 25.76, and right now it's pulling back, and today closed at 20.87. So still above the 20 level, but definitely, the market participant are much less fearful than they were on Monday. Okay? And also the put call ratio was above that 0.75 level, and it was sitting at 0.82 on Monday, and today it came back down to 0.61. So once again, there seems to be a little bit of a risk on with caution. And looking at the up-down volume ratio for the New York Stock Exchange today is quite impressive. It's 6 to 1 in favor of the upside, and also the advanced decline is over 2,000. The advancer actually led the decliner by a margin of 2,113. So that is pretty strong breath here today. But unfortunately, with a lot of stock that got beaten down recently, the number of new 52-week high did not elevated too much. Only have 70 new 52-week high in the New York Stock Exchange with 24 new 52-week lows. So the 52-week high outnumbered the 52-week low by a margin of 46 today. Looking at the New York Stock Exchange accumulative AD line, we see a slight positive divergence yesterday, and that prompted a little bit of a reversal today. So it shouldn't be a surprise to us that we see a little bit of an uptick today, right? So we'll just keep an eye on this AD line to see how much of a positive will this turn out. And here looking at the NASDAQ 100, the NASDAQ 100 actually went up 148 points, almost 150 points today at 0.99%. So again, also almost 1% gain for the day. Also, the other thing is I have this little short-term channel here, and you can see that is coming back in to this channel. So we'll see, would it be able to get a nice bounce, fill this gap, and move up to somewhere around that 15,750. But again, we take a look at it a little bit more detail later on the individual price action. But the up-down volume ratio was okay. It's 2.7 to 1 in favor of the up volume, not as strong as the New York Stock Exchange, in which the NYSE was over 6 to 1 in favor of the upside. But the advanced decline was 1,825 more advancer than decliner, which is also not bad. It's respectable in terms of breadth and internals for today. Not so impressive is the 52-week high and 52-week low in the NASDAQ market. There were 74 new 52-week high, but 80 more new 52-week low. So the new low actually outnumbered the new high by a margin of 6. So for a day that the NASDAQ 100 is up almost 1% with more new low than new high. So that is not a good sign of a strong market. And in the NASDAQ market cumulative AD line, we did not see that positive divergence from the AD line versus the NASDAQ 100, as we saw that little subtle positive divergence on the S&P versus the cumulative New York Stock Exchange AD line. Now let's go and take a look at the price action of the individual index. Looking at this daily chart of the S&P 500, remember on the weekend video, we're basically watching what it come down to these Fibonacci retracement level. And we're saying if it break below this 38.2, this 43.52, we're essentially going to readjust this Fibonacci retracement. I'm going to move it down here right now because it went below this 38.2. So this retracement level is no longer valid, even though we get a bounce here. But before we talk about the potential bounce, let me go and readjust that and push this retracement level here. And I'm going to move it down to this bottom right here. All right. So now you can see that on Monday, the low is actually close to this 50% retracement level at 43.04. And also, on today, it actually came back up to this 618 and got above the 43.64.26. So what I'm basically watching for now is that would it be able to continue to come up and retrace back up to this trend line here. So essentially looking at this 44.50 as a potential resistance level here and fill this gap, then we maybe see it come back down and possibly retest this low here at this 38.2 level at 42.46, somewhere around there. And maybe we will put in a little bit of a near-term bottom and work itself back up to possibly to the high. And that's one possible scenario. The other scenario is that it could just chop around up here and then come up, test 44.50, and then push right to and get back up to the all-time high. So we just keep an eye on that to see how the price action will behave inside of this zone. If it moves out of this area here, then we could look for 44.50 as a potential resistance to keep an eye on. But if it come back down and dip below that, then once again, we're going to see a retest of this 43.04 and possibly come down to the 42.46.75 area. And for the NASDAQ 100, remember we're talking about these levels here, this 1618 at 15,233 and also the 141, 14,850. The weekend video, you can see on Monday it came down to this 141 and got a nice bounce off of that. Right now, it's bumping up against the 1618 at the 15,223 area. So we're going to see would it be able to fill this gap. And if it does and it continue to move up, once again, we're essentially looking at this trend line here to see would it be able to pull some resistance and get a rejection back down. So we're essentially looking maybe somewhere around this 15,400, 15,500 area for potential resistance there. So basically see would it come up here and then get rejected and then come back down to retest this level here somewhere around this 14,850 and see will that hold. But if it could break above this trend line, then once again, we essentially are looking for this high to get retested. And for the Russell 2000, we're essentially looking at this zone here to see what come down and test this 2134 and would be able to hold this level. And if it doesn't, we're basically looking for this 2075. As you can see right now, got a little bit of a bounce after Monday's low. Got a inside day yesterday and breaking out above this inside day. So we'll see would it be able to hold this level, hold above this 2195 and then move back up to this 2297 area. But if it decide to come back down, get rejected at this resistance here, then we could see that could come down and possibly test this 2134 level. So that's basically what I'll be watching, on the downside 2134 and on upside is this 2297. Now the Dow Jones Transportation did not get a bounce at all in the last couple of days after Monday's decline. It has continued to move down, although it is coiling inside of the Monday candle. So basically watching to see what it come down to this 13,656 area because it's booked down from this 14,242. So the resistance level to keep an eye on will be this 14,242 and the potential support is down here at the 13,656. And for the Dow Jones Industrial, we see the Dow Jones Industrial came down to this level here at this zone here, 33,800. It went below that and came back in. So right now it's still chopping inside of this zone here. We'll see what it'll be able to come up, fill this gap, and work itself back up to the top of this balance area. But if it doesn't, we could be looking at this potential, trend line to pull some resistance and maybe get rejected back down. And once again, come back down and test this 33,800. And if it doesn't hold this low here next time, then we'd be looking at the 33,000 level down here for the next potential support. So if it could break above this 35,150, then look for this trend line. If it could get back above this trend line, then the all-time high could be back in play. Here, looking at the 10-year yield, you can see that it came up a little bit, but essentially it is still chopping around this 1.25 to 1.4 area here. So we'll see what it move up to this 1.4 level. And look at the dollar. The US dollar came up and sitting at 93.46. Remember, we basically are looking to see will the dollar come up to this 94 area and then see some sort of reaction coming back down. So we'll be watching to see will it continue to move up toward this 94, or will it reverse back down to this 92. So it's still inside of this this zone here between the 92 and 94. For the crude oil, we're still monitoring for a possible 75 level to get hit, essentially come up to this zone. Although right now the dollar is strong, and typically if the dollar is strong, crude oil should be weak in terms of the price level. But right now there seems to be a little bit of a supply in doubt now, right? Because of the hurricane hitting the Gulf area and also the drawdown on some of the inventory. So that might create a little bit of a supply side, catalyst, that will drive the crude oil price up to this 75 level. And here's silver. I remember we were looking for this 2272 area. You can see it came down. Right now it's chopping down here to see what it'll be able to hold the support. But once again, I'm still basically looking for silver probably get a little bit lower. But I keep an eye on there. If you want to get a little bit of a short-term trade, you could possibly come and try to trade up to this 2350 and maybe the $24 level. And if it does decide to break out and come back up here to form this little, basically like a double bottom, then you look for 2470. Right now, I'm still looking for to see, show me some sign. Would it be able to break this trend? Otherwise, I still kind of be on the sideline here on silver. And finally, for gold, gold is also having a little difficulty in getting back above this 1804 area and come up to this 1846. Right now, for some people, they might be looking at this thing as a potential inverted head and shoulder here. Right, you could make a case that here's the left shoulder, and right now it's forming a right shoulder. So look for a break above this level here. If we could get above 1846, then one could make a case that it is breaking out of this inverted head and shoulder pattern and possibly could move up to this 1923. But if it comes back down to this 1716, I'd be looking at this 1673 level as a critical support. If it doesn't hold this level, then I'd be looking for gold to make its way back down to this 1546 area. Now, if you didn't see the segment that I put out on the weekly video, in which that I go to each one of these sector ETF and also using the gang moving averages, you might want to go back and check out that segment in my weekend video. And the timestamp start at 24 minutes and 43 seconds. That's when I start and discuss about this gang chart. And if you are familiar with the gang moving average already, you could skip to 26:40. That's the timestamp, 26 minutes and 40 seconds. That's when I start going through all these segments here. I will put a link in the description below or in my pinned comment, so you could just click on that link and go watch that segment. I'm just going to quickly go to each sector on this segment here, and I refer you back to look at the weekend video for some of the potential resistance and support level to keep an eye on. So here is TLT and GLD, silver, oil, natural gas, technology, financial, industrial, energy, consumer discretionary, consumer stable, material, home builders, healthcare, utility, and retail. So those are the sectors. If you want to see more detail, let's go back and watch that segment from my weekend video. Now, early this morning before the market opened, I also post quite a few charts on my Twitter stream. You might want to go and check that out. For example, I have the ES, the E-mini S&P 500. Also, I have this vaccine, this Ocugen company, the biotech company. And the other stuff is, Draftking, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Dogecoin, and Moderna, Novavax, Gilead. So you might want to go and check that out. Just go and check in my Twitter stream. The screen name is at smtraderCA, and you might want to click the follow so you will get a lot of these charts that I post during the off hour on the weekday basis, and also each evening I also post the market profile chart on the E-mini to give you my take on what's some of the level to keep an eye on in the coming days. So go check that out. And in addition to that, I also post some of the the FANG stocks such as the Netflix, Apple, Amazon, Facebook, and also Google. So you might want to go and check that out. So let's quickly just run down some of the stock that I posted on my Twitter account last night or early this morning. This one here, Ocugen, the Ocugen, one of the COVID-19 vaccine company also. So as you can see, basically it's been sort of chopping around inside of this balance area. Okay, and the value area here got a composite profile. And I'm saying that if it could break above this, break out of this top line here, somewhere around 950, could get really interesting. We could see it run back up, possibly up at this 13 level. And here, looking at Draftking, I was basically saying Draftking is, had a little good run on the upside, and also tweeted a few days ago talking about the NFL, season started once again with college football, and the online betting stock should be, basically benefit from that. But unfortunately, a lot of these company executives, they like to buy company when they are at the top. So I think this is basically what prompted a little bit of a pullback as well. But also, again, essentially broke down from this zone down to this zone right now. So we're going to keep an eye on it to see what it pop back out of this zone and come back up here. Otherwise, basically looking for retracement down to somewhere around this $48 level. And looking at Moderna, one basically watching is to see would it be able to break above this trend line here and get into this zone. If it does, get above this 457, then we could see it possibly move back up to the high here. But if it's also come back into this zone here underneath this 413.80, then we'd be watching this supporting trend line to see what it break below that. Then we essentially watching for the price of Moderna come back down to possibly somewhere around 371 area. And here on Novavax, I basically just went back and kind of remind people, when we trade, we have target, for profit and also stop loss, right? So right now, essentially, when I tweeted out, I believe that was in August somewhere, sometime mid-August. And we're saying that we're basically looking at one of the target up here at the 277. And as you can see, it came up to this target here. And basically, once the target hit, although that it looked attractive that it could possibly come up to this 300 level, but we have to manage a trade and take profit, or at least trail the stop so we won't give it all back. And if you are stubborn and basically, tweeted out last night to say, don't be a pig. If you act like a pig, then, you're basically going to get slaughtered. And essentially, if you try to be greedy and holding this to, for this 300 level, you essentially get back all your profit. And hopefully, that is the worst case, not, actually, incurring a loss. And Gilead is one of the biotech stock that's been quietly, moving up during this entire pandemic. And here I'm looking at this bull flag, potential bull flag, and watching this thing to break out. And if it does, basically what I'm looking at on Gilead, if it could break this bull flag, then I'm basically watching for this thing to possibly move up here to this 72, 73 area, this $73 area, into this zone here. There's this high volume area here. And this is based on a weekly chart here. And we can see price could chop around and move up here to this 78 area. So just kind of watch this bull flag here to see what it be able to break above that and move into this zone here. So if you want to see more of these charts on the stock that I post on my Twitter stream, go and follow me and check out my Twitter stream. The handle is at smtraderCA. And here we are looking at the heat map for the S&P 500. As you can see, relatively in good shape today, other than spotty weakness on the in the consumer staple and also in the healthcare sector. Facebook got a big hit today on the downside. I guess the privacy policy that Apple have implemented recently really impacting Facebook's advertising revenue there. And here, looking at the NASDAQ 100 heat map, you can see that Adobe and Facebook, right? A few healthcare. Yeah, Gilead, the chart that I put up, it started out good, but we kind of pulled back at the throughout the day. So we'll see. We'll keep an eye on it to see what that bull flag actually get broken out in the coming days. So hey. Nothing is guaranteed in trading, right? We only could put up something to kind of, keep an eye on and then see what the market, tell us what to do. So don't try to anticipate. And here's the heat map for the Russell 2000. So other than the healthcare, the mixed bag in the healthcare, it is pretty much all green. So, that's quite strong today, from the Russell 2000 also. So in summary, you can see that the market got a nice bounce off the Monday sell-off. That a lot of jitter and a lot of fear came into the market. And that wasn't a big surprise to us because we've been looking for a little bit of a pullback, and also based on some of the past pattern that we're looking at, these pivot low, that kind of give us in the, put us in the ballpark of that Monday timetable to look for some sort of a low. So maybe that is the low for right now. But again, looking at some of the internal, although we see some advanced decline improvement, though the new high, new low is still pretty weak. I think there are still a little bit more downside or a little bit more pullback to come to just to test, at least to test the recent low before it build up the internal, straighten up the internal to make another move for the new high. Right now, we are still looking and waiting for the E-mini S&P 500 to come up and tag that Globex all-time high that was put on September the 3rd. When that level get hit, then most likely we're going to see the S&P 500 to print another new all-time high. I hope you found this video to be useful, and be sure to smash that thumbs up to help me promote and share this video. Thank you for watching, and stay safe.